So, welcome to my yapping session. This is going to be a conversation between me and you. We're just talking. There's no script, there's no outline, there's not even a bullet point. And if you know me, you know I love a bullet point. But in this video, I literally just want to talk to you guys. I'm not pushing an offer. I'm not pushing my social media marketing course. This video is not sponsored. It is literally just a conversation that is way overdue. I'm hoping that you can relate to what it is that we're going to talk about. And I know for a fact that if you are a service based business, you're going to walk away with something. Now, I don't know what that something is, but you're going to walk away with something. And also, let me go ahead and start off by telling you now, my mama will not agree, but I clearly have an undiagnosed case of ADHD. So I may start a sentence and I may get deep into it and I may forget where I was going, or I may forget what I was even saying. But y'all, if you just stay with me, okay, you're gonna leave with something good. You're gonna leave with some gem that you didn't know before you watch this video. Now, for you note takers, because I know a lot of people like to take notes, you like titles and all that stuff. What we're going to talk about is working with clients that are fully in alignment with our assignment. Now, what does that even mean? I think the first thing that you need to understand, we need to be on the same page about, is what you put out there is what you will attract. And if you watch any of my videos, if you follow me on social media, then you already know that I believe in psychology, people first marketing. I am the marketing expert that will tell you to build your personal brand, talk less about your treatments, talk more about your values, your morals, your ethics, the things that you believe in, because that is how you indeed attract more people that are on that same wave of life as you are. Now, was I always here in my business? Absolutely not. I was not always where I am now. I didn't have the brain power. I didn't have the intuition that I have now. I absolutely had none of that. Most of you know I quit my full-time job in 2022, and I literally just worked with any business owner that said yes to me, that would pay the invoice on time, and that allowed me to do what I needed to do. But it wasn't as deep as it is now. And yes, it is that deep, especially going into this new season. It is that deep. And anybody that does not agree with me, then you can just go ahead and click off this video, because I do believe that even you, because I know I have a lot of aesthetic service providers that watch this channel, you should even be more intentional about working with clients that value the same things that you do in life. And that is why I will always preach and teach. Stop talking about your services and treatments so much. Build your personal brand. Talk about your dislikes. That's the best thing that you can do as a service-based business. Talk about the things that you don't like. And I'll give you guys an example. I'm a part of these Facebook groups for med spa owners, for aesthetic clinic owners. And so many times, like, it just makes me cringe. I constantly see these people trying to push their AI generated receptionist, their AI automation, and AI this and AI this. Now, don't get me wrong. I own a concierge marketing and growth company, and clearly AI has its place in my business. But as an aesthetic service provider, don't get caught up in the hype. And I constantly talk about this. Don't get caught up in the hype, because customer service is going to be the number one thing that sets your business apart. Human connection, how you make patients feel seen, how you make them feel heard. Those are going to be the important components that set your business apart. And AI simply can't do that. So I constantly put out there that I don't believe in AI receptionists. I think it's a horrible idea when it comes to trying to convert clients that want to spend $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 in your medical practice. They need a human element. They need somebody that's going to ask them about their personal life, use their first name, ask them about their kids that go to private school, ask them about the divorce, ask them about the new house. And those are the things that I constantly preach and teach. So when it comes to building a personal brand, That is how you get those morals out there. That's how you get those values out there. Everything, look, somebody was trying to argue with me in a Reddit group about this because they're like, Cheri, what is the best way? Well, actually, they didn't ask me, I just chimed in, but they're like, what's the best way to decrease ad spend as a medical practice? And I always come in with a different approach. The best way to decrease ad spend is to build a personal brand, build a flock of patients that are obsessed with you as a service provider. And then that way they will value you, what you bring to the table. They're not just there because you've ran some sort of discount, or you're offering a free consultation, or you're offering a buy one get one, or $50 off 20 units. No, they're there because they value what it is that you bring to the table as a service provider. So I'm always going to push personal branding. I believe that people buy from people that they know, like, and trust, and that they can relate to. And those are the components that get people to say yes. And in an overly saturated market, which both of our markets are, do you think I don't know that there's tons of other marketing professionals out there doing the same things that I do? But I know what I bring to the table. And it's the same thing as you as a service provider. There are tons of other med spas, tons of other aesthetic clinics, but if everybody is literally pushing Botox, if everybody is literally pushing filler, then what will be those elements that will help you stand out? That's your personality. So that's why I will forever say, talk about your treatments less, talk more about the experience, about the client transformation, about the client journey, because those types of things, they cannot be duplicated in your business. Now, was I always here as a business owner? Did I always have these thoughts that I have now? Everything that's coming out of my mouth, was that always where I was in business? Absolutely not. When I quit my job in 2022, my goal was just to work with any business owner who said yes, who paid the invoice on time, which I didn't charge nowhere near what I charge now, that paid the invoice on time and that said yes. And boy, was that a mistake. And it took me a couple of shitty clients, working with a couple of shitty clients, to get to a point to where I am now. Now I understand the importance of alignment. I constantly put out there what it is that I expect out of my clients, because for one, you don't just hire me. We work together, and it has to be a partnership. And if you don't like me and I don't like you, and we don't have similar interests or values when it comes to like how we look at life, then how are we going to get along? And I think it's important. It's important for me and my clients to get along. Now, those marketing agencies and companies out there that just work with the masses, they have tons of people, signed up to work with them. They probably don't care about that. They don't care about values. They just want the numbers to increase. But you should very well be focused more on clients that are in alignment with what it is that you're providing, in alignment with your assignment full-heartedly. Sometimes you have to have those uncomfortable conversations. Say, for example, if you have a client, she comes in and she shows you that she wants to look like Kim Kardashian, or she wants to look like Gabrielle Union, but then she's telling you that she has a fixed budget. Like, you know that what she's asking for is going to run her $3,000, but she tells you that she only has $1,500. Get comfortable with telling those clients, no, I'm sorry, I may just not be the provider for you. And recognize those red flags early on, because they will save you so much just heartbreak and confusion in the end. And this is like, I'm literally preaching to myself right now, because there were lots of things that, like, I want to give y'all an example. Let's take it back. They wasn't my first account. They were one of my first few accounts. Let me just say that. I worked with them. And the funny part about this is, way back when I was still working in a 9-to-5, I remember starting at this plastic surgeon's office. It was a plastic surgery group. And on my very first day, I noticed that there was a lot of confusion in the office, but I was new. I didn't really ask any questions, but I saw that there were a lot of people in the office whispering. There were some boxes being packed up. There was a plastic surgeon in this group that was basically getting dismissed from the practice. And I found that out later, right? Well, and it's also important to say this. what happened was, the reason why they were getting dismissed from the practice is just because, without getting into too much into detail, because I really can't remember that long ago, but they were not meshing with the other plastic surgeons that were in the practice. The wife, they say she was just a horrible person. And long story short, these particular people, they had a very bad reputation in my city, right? So fast forward, I started working for them, like working for them as a business owner now. And if I had any sense, and if I had the mindset that I had today, I would not have worked for this account, right? But again, this was the green Cheri. This was the Cheri that said yes to any and everybody. So she really had no idea. And in my mind now, that was a red flag. That was a red flag that they were getting dismissed from the practice that I worked for way back when. And then I said yes to them as a client. Number one red flag. And a lot of the times what I have realized, because I've always been a child of God, you have to have faith when it comes to being a business owner. Bottom line, you just do. And I've always been a child of God. I grew up in a church. I have a personal relationship with God. But it wasn't until recently until I started tying that faith and my business together. And like I say, knowing what I know now, God sent me all of the red flags. I just chose to ignore them. I didn't see them for what they were. And that was definitely the first red flag with this account. The second red flag, once I started working for this account and I actually went into the office, do you want to know what they told me? They said, well, Cheri, we actually have someone else that's handling our marketing right now. And whenever she finds out that we're hiring you, she's probably not going to like you. She's probably going to have a problem. And you know what I did? I just sat there and laughed. But that was the most unprofessional thing that you can say. And that was the second red flag. But again, I chose to ignore it, right? And then I'm gonna tell you what the third red flag was, because God will send you these red flags, but you have to listen. And that is what I failed to do. I didn't listen. So I couldn't even like blame God for not showing me, because he did. I just didn't listen. The third red flag, I was working with this account, the same account, and I'll just be transparent. I started them out at like $2,600 a month. And then they came back and told me that, oh, well, we can't afford that. Mind you, they're pretty, if not billionaires, maybe that's a stretch. They just have a lot of money, let's just say that. So for them to try to cut me down when I literally provide the same level of service, that was the third red flag. And what did I do? I continued to work with this account. And we ended up working together for about, I want to say maybe about 2 years. We worked together, but guess what? It ended horribly, because they never saw the value in me. And I'll be honest, I don't even really think they liked Black people. Like, I remember when I would be in their office and some of the clientele would walk in, they would all look at me like almost like they were shocked to even see me in that office. So I recognized and I picked up on all of that, but again, I just chose to ignore it. So like I say, my prayer going forward, this is something that I pray to God every single day, is for more discernment as a business owner, for me to be able to recognize the red flags early on. And he has definitely listened to me. He's listened to me, because there are red flags that I can tell with practice owners, like early in the beginning. One being when they say things, you sit there and you tell them everything that you'll do, everything that you're going to provide, and then they say things like, well, how much is this going to cost me, versus saying, well, what's the investment? Because it is an investment. That's one red flag. Another red flag, if you sign up for a discovery call with me and you don't even want to get on camera, that's another red flag. If you tell me things like, well, my team is not really good, they don't really put a lot of effort in, they don't really care, that's another red flag. I recently just stopped working with this account where their team honestly sucked. And no matter how much money you invest in marketing, you can use the best of the best team that there is out there. If you have staff that just simply don't care, they don't want to be a part of the process, they don't want to be a face of the business, you're going to continue to fail, because marketing drives the leads, but it's your team's job to close them. And when we would screen these calls for this particular account, these girls would answer the phone and they would not even announce who they were. They would just answer the phone and be like, so and so aesthetics, how can I help you? Now think about it, right? If you're a client, a potential client, and you're calling this office because you chose this provider, you were not referred, nobody sent you or made you go here, you chose this provider, and you get, welcomed with a very short attitude, would you book? Absolutely not. And when we would listen to these phone calls, they would, just not use first names, not be very courteous, not act like they really cared. And I know if I felt it through the phone, the clients felt it too. So it was always this tug of war, this back and forth of, we're doing something wrong, we're not doing our jobs, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. When it wasn't us, it was the lack of empathy that the team displayed. So again, recognizing more red flags and actually listening is something that I even suggest you do in your business too. And sometimes, like I said, you have to have those uncomfortable conversations. You can't just say yes to everybody. You won't please everybody. Something that I have begun to be more comfortable with as a business owner is knowing that, for one, everybody is just not for me. The way that I run my business and the things that I believe in and the things that I'm going to encourage my accounts to do, it's not for everybody. Everybody is just not gonna, be a perfect fit. I'm more okay with understanding that my approach is not for everybody. And the more I can articulate that and the more I can put that out there, the more I will attract the people who are right for me. So another thing that I'm more comfortable with understanding as a business owner is that everybody is not going to know who I am, and everybody is not always going to believe that my intentions are pure, and that is fine, because you X out the people who are not there for you. And for those 2, 3, 4, or 5 clients that are not in alignment with you, you make room for more who are. And doors have closed, on me as a business owner. Doors have closed. But I truly believe that man's rejection is God's redirection. And I know for a fact that He is preparing me to work with more clients, because He's already shown me that. He's literally shown me that. We lost a very big account this year. And yeah, it hurt like hell when it happened. It did. I'm not even gonna lie. But this account was like a thorn in my side. Again, we were always going back and forth, always playing tug of war. Lots of red flags that I clearly ignored. But I am more at peace, because now when I work with the accounts first off, God replaced that account almost immediately, because He always shows up and shows out for me, never fails me there. But it's better now because it's a client who is in alignment with my assignment. They found me on social media. They've been following me for 2 years. So they know what I bring to the table. They know what I believe in. They know, basically they know how I get down. And it's such a beautiful feeling. So anyways, if you didn't take anything away from this yap, just understand what is for you will not miss you. And I know everybody is in a season right now of uncertainty, but you have to just continue to keep showing up. Keep grinding through all the hard moments. Keep putting out there the things that you believe in as a business owner, because I promise you, people are watching and they are waiting. They are waiting to book with you. They are waiting to take it to the next level. But you have to give them something that is going to make them say yes. And in most cases, it's not your Botox special. It's not your $200 off filler special. It's not your $199 hydrofacial special. It is something that's special about you as the business owner, as the service provider. And the more you continue to put those values out there and those beliefs out there, you will attract everybody who is meant to be in your circle. They're coming. They're already watching you. They're this close to booking an appointment with you. So just remember, what's for you is for you. What's for you will not miss you. You have to have faith. And faith sometimes is hard to see, but you have to believe. And you have to have hope. And you have to know that you didn't start this for no reason. God did not give you this vision and this opportunity and this skill to not give you the clients to match it. And you just have to continue to put your beliefs out there to the world. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned something. I know that it probably felt like it was all over the place. It probably was. I'm just happy that I didn't forget what I was saying mid-sentence. But if you are watching this and you're in this season of uncertainty in your business, or maybe you just feel like, you've been working with a lot of the wrong type of clientele, comment down below. Where are you in business? Did anything that I say, could you relate to it? And if so, let me know, because I would love to hear from you guys. All right, bye.